Concerns of racism and brutality, not just an issue for Joliet Police. Chicago Police under scrutiny as well. But one high-ranking department member retiring after 34 years believes change is possible. Today, he spoke to CBS 2 political investigator Dana Kozlov. She was live outside of CPD headquarters. Dana.
Yeah, Brad, I sat down with First Deputy Superintendent Anthony Riccio this morning, just a couple of weeks before he leaves the department and takes his decades of experience with him. And he told me he believes it's time that CPD hits the reset button when it comes to relationships with the city's Black and Latinx communities.
They need to trust us, and we need to earn their trust. But they need to trust us, and they need to give us the chance, and they need to give us an opportunity. We need to hit a reset button.
Some parting thoughts as Chicago First Deputy Police Superintendent Anthony Riccio wraps up his 34-year CPD career. Black Lives Matter! At a time when some would argue tension between police and Black and brown communities is at an all-time high. Do you believe that there is validity to widespread claims of systemic racism within both the Chicago Police Department and other police departments nationally?
I know it's a problem. It's a problem in the country. It's a problem in the world, racism. It's not something that's unique to policing. It's not something, it's all over.
Riccio acknowledges George Floyd's death at the hands of a Minneapolis police officer was a tipping point for many outraged by instances of police brutality and mistreatment, and he acknowledges there's work to be done.
It's kind of the perfect storm of problems this year, but I think we'll turn it around.
I asked Riccio how important strong police, activist, and community leader relationships are to peace and trust.
That's really the key to it.
16 shots! He says the large but peaceful protests occurring after the video of former officer Jason Van Dyke shooting teenager Laquan McDonald was released were largely due to those relationships. They clearly dissipated prior to the looting and violence that occurred after Floyd's death.
We had some credibility with them, and it resonated through the neighborhoods, and we didn't see any rioting or anything of the nature of what we saw when George Floyd was killed.
So what changed?
I don't know what changed. We probably didn't work on those relationships the way we should. We didn't maintain them.
Riccio believes the officers being promoted now to lead the department are capable of taking the Chicago Police Department in the right direction. Now, by my count, he has worked under 9 Chicago police superintendents, and he says of all of them, he believes that former Superintendent Eddie Johnson, who resigned and then was fired in a cloud of controversy last year, was the most effective. Brad?
Yeah, you got a lot of sources. My sources say the same thing. All pro-Johnson guys. Johnson was a Chicago guy. So why does Riccio say that? And how does he feel about the scandal surrounding ultimately Johnson's departure?
Yeah, his departure last fall. Well, he says that the former Superintendent Johnson was really good at listening to and soliciting input for those who worked around him, who worked with him, and he valued that input. He says he also cared very much about the entire police department and about the communities throughout and the neighborhoods throughout the city. But as for how his career, Johnson's career with the CPD ended, he didn't want to talk about that except to say he thinks Johnson would say, and I think Johnson did say, that nobody is perfect. Brad?
Yeah. Dana Kozlov, thank you.